Hello everyone. I'm going to do my second video game review today. My first video game review was of Baldur's Gate. Therefore, it's only fitting that now I review the sequel, Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn, and its expansion pack, Throne of Bhaal. Now, just briefly, I want to mention something I forgot to mention in my review of Baldur's Gate was the Tales of the Sword Coast expansion pack. And I will say it's an excellent expansion pack. It adds some great material. Definitely play Baldur's Gate with the Tales of the Sword Coast expansion pack. With that being said, let's move to Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn. Simply put, this is an excellent game. This takes all the great quality that the first game had, and all the great quality that BioWare has always had to offer, and really gives it to you in probably one of the best video games ever made. So first off, what would a game be without good gameplay? So the first element I'd like to examine of this is the gameplay. The gameplay in Baldur's Gate 1 was excellent. Baldur's Gate 2 takes it to another level, in making it even more excellent than it was the first time around. The interface is brilliant, it's smooth, you know what to click on at the right time, nothing's clunky or confusing, and things are very straightforward, and it's just very well-made gameplay. This definitely adds to the experience of the thing about video games is they don't really need to have a good plot to be a good game. If a game has good gameplay, then it's a good game. The Mario Brothers games don't really have much in the way of a plot, but the gameplay is what makes them great. So gameplay is the most important element of a video game. And the gameplay of Baldur's Gate 2 is just excellent. The next thing I want to look at is the plot. The plot of Baldur's Gate 2 is actually more straightforward than the plot of Baldur's Gate 1. And the plot is really well constructed in Baldur's Gate 2. You are very well invested. There is really a lot at stake. Simply put, you must rescue your childhood friend Imoen from the clutches of the evil wizard John Irenicus. That's pretty much the plot, and usually the sign of a good plot is when you can sum it up in one sentence, you know you have a good plot. If it takes a while to sum it up, it usually means the plot is not very strong. That's not always true, but it is true in this case. The plot is very excellent in this game. The next thing I'd like to look at is the character. All the characters. Baldur's Gate, being a BioWare product, has some excellent characters, both in Baldur's Gate 1 and in Baldur's Gate 2. Baldur's Gate 2, the characters are more interesting, because you can actually interact with them, can talk to them, there's more dialogue, there's more interaction between the characters, and it really gives you an idea of who these people are. And really you do grow to love them. Now BioWare, when they do really good characters, they do amazing characters. Now, however, there are some times where they do write characters which are just not very interesting or cliched or unintentionally annoying. But when they do it well, then it's brilliant. And I give them credit because their great characters outweigh their less than interesting characters. I think the three that are worth mention are, of course, you have Minsk, voiced by Jim Cummings, who is, I think, one of my favorite characters ever. You have Yoshimo, voiced by Maurice LaMarche. It's brilliant. And then special praise goes to David Warner as John Irenicus. This is one of the greatest voice performances I think I've ever heard in movies or in games or in TV. Anywhere that you can think of where voice acting might appear, this is one of the most outstanding performances I think I've ever heard. So the characters in Baldur's Gate 2 are just absolutely astounding. There are a few that just don't work out, but the good ones really outweigh the bad ones. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the thought. Is there any depth to this game? There is a surprising amount of depth here. Baldur's Gate 1 was not very deep. Baldur's Gate 2 takes that and really adds a whole new level of depth that is just, I think, worthy of praise. It's very good. You really do get invested in the story, and you are interested in the ideas the story presents. The next thing, the script, the diction, and the dialogue. The script is very good in this game. As true with most video games, it's not necessarily on the level with a great film script, but really I think the script helps us understand the characters, There are some moments that it's like, that's kind of well written. There are moments where it's less than stellar, but I think it really helps to convey the feeling, and I think it is important that you should read every single line that you get the opportunity to read. It really adds to the experience. The next thing is the melody. How does it flow? This game flows very well. There really are no moments where it feels like something is out of place or something doesn't belong. And this goes for the Throne of Bhaal expansion pack. Reiterating sort of what I said with Baldur's Gate 1, get the expansion pack to Baldur's Gate 2. It really adds a lot, and nothing in there feels out of place. In fact, the story just feels like it flows from Shadows of Amn to Throne of Bhaal. And you'll start the expansion pack as soon as you finish Baldur's Gate 2. As soon as you finish, you will go immediately to the Throne of Bhaal campaign, and everything feels like it flows together and flows well. And then the next thing I'd like to talk about is the spectacle. This game is spectacular. Baldur's Gate 1 didn't really look that good, even for its time. Baldur's Gate 2, it is more polished. The backgrounds look great. The animations are great. Everything looks so good. And the music is nice too. Would like to point that out. There are some great tracks here that are almost as good as movie soundtracks. This is some really great music that they put in this game. There's some great spectacle, great visuals, just great sound effects. Everything just feels so nice in this game. I really say that overall this is probably one of the greatest games ever made. It's one of my favorite games. This is sort of the role-playing game by which all others are judged. And this is an excellent thing. If you have not played Baldur's Gate 2, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely worth your time. And it really gives you something that's incredible. I never get tired of playing it. It still interests me, even though I've played it so many times. So, Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Amn, and its expansion pack, Throne of Bhaal, are absolutely amazing. And I would say are gaming masterpieces. So definitely check them out if you have not. And that's my review. Thanks. Bye.